In this video, I'm gonna give you the most effective online dating opener of all time. This is an opener I've sent to thousands of girls on every single dating app, and not only is the response rate out of control, but it perfectly segues the conversation from just getting a match to actually leading up to a date. So in this video, I'm gonna give you this lethal pickup line, break down the psychology of why it's so effective, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm also gonna give you my ultimate pickup line guide with my overpowered opener framework so you can create hundreds of lines just like this. So pound that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. So what separates a good opener from a bad opener? Well, a good opener just needs two things. It needs to demand a response, and it needs to be playful. By directing the chat in a playful direction, she's gonna have fun chatting with you. You're gonna set up an amazing frame, and you're gonna be able to avoid the friend zone and end up in the date zone. That's why this pickup line is so effective. This lethal pickup line is, I can't tell if you're innocent or an absolute baddie. She said, LOL, both. Now, a lot of times when you send this message, women are gonna say either they're naughty, they're wholesome, or the most common answer is both. A lot of guys get stumped by this because it's kind of a non-answer, but the best thing you can do in this situation is actually just call her out. So I said, that's the safest answer. She said, safe but accurate. I do both very well. So you can see her trying to prove herself to me, like qualifying herself that she can kind of play both angles here. So I said, we might need to put that to the test. Basically like insinuating a date and a hangout with her. And you can see I'm insinuating that very early in the conversation. And she said, all right, how do you propose that? I said, I think we should start with a wine and see where things go. And she says, all right, deal. I was like, cool, what's your number? And just like that, number secured. One thing a lot of guys get wrong on dating apps is they forget the psychological principle of escalation. You have to remember that women are getting literally hundreds of likes on these dating apps every single day. So if you can't escalate quickly enough, she's going to go out with someone else who can. Check this chat out. I said, I can't tell if you're innocent or an absolute baddie. She said, what's your best guess? I said, I think the smirk in your last photo says it all, but might just have to find out for ourselves. So as you can see, keeping it playful, right? And she says, might be a little bit of both with a little smirking emoji. That's such a safe answer. But which side brings you to Hinge? So she said, probably the innocent side. Haha, what about you? I said, thank goodness. I usually don't hold hands until the 5th date. Now this is me kind of playfully teasing her. Like she said that she's innocent, but I want to find out how innocent she actually is. And an easy way to do that is to just kind of agree with what she's saying and then escalate it to an extreme. Like I'm so innocent that I'm not even gonna hold your hand for the first 5 dates. A lot of guys on these apps are very, very forward about looking for something sexual. And I can kind of tell that that's not really her style, but I am trying to find out, like, is she waiting for marriage or is she just like a little bit more reserved? Oh wow, so you're innocent as well, eh? I said, why do you sound surprised? With a little devil emoji. Now I'm second guessing that you're not innocent. Had to keep it playful and I just said, I'll leave that up to your imagination. You're cute. What are you looking for on here? Now that a little bit of playful small talk is out of the way, I don't want to get lost in the chit chat, so I always like to escalate and ask for a girl's intentions before proceeding towards a date. So she said, I'm at a point where meaningless connections don't serve a purpose. I guess I'm looking for a real connection, but I totally get that it takes time to find that. How about you? So it sounds like she's looking for something a little bit more serious, like an ongoing relationship rather than a one-night stand, which is really, really good information to understand, you know, if we have the same intentions and how to set up a date from there. I said, yeah, it totally makes sense. I'm not into one-night stands, but I'm also not trying to force a connection with just anyone. Just trying to date and see where things go. So I basically matched her energy there and she said, completely understandable. But I don't want to try and set up the date over the dating app. Remember, women have tons of matches every single day. I don't want to get buried in there. So at this point, now that we're on the same page, it's good to keep escalating and get things off of the dating app so I can actually set up a date. So I said, you seem pretty chill. Why don't you shoot me your number and perhaps we can grab a drink sometime? It's an American number. Does that still work? I don't know how it goes around here. I was in Canada. Obviously, come on, we don't live in igloos and communicate with pigeons here. And just like that, number secured. I think one of the most important psychological principles of text game is frame. A lot of the time men adopt the seller frame where we're trying to prove ourselves worthy and hope that they select us to go on a date with them. But this is a very, very ineffective strategy. Women can sense that neediness from a mile away and it repels them. So instead you want to flip that frame on its head. Rather than trying to sell yourself and prove yourself to women, you want to adopt the buyer frame where you have women qualifying to you. And this pickup line is insanely effective at establishing that buyer frame from the very beginning of the conversation. Check out this example. I said, I can't tell if you're innocent or an absolute baddie. She said, I'll let you be the judge of that. Winky face. So right off the bat, she's already given me the buyer frame and saying like, you can evaluate me. So really, really good start. Well, I want you to be yourself, not try to be what I'm looking for. And then follow it up with, please be naughty. She said, I'm innocent in public and a baddie in private. So there we go again. The frame has been so well established that she's trying to prove herself to me again in this message, right? Qualifying to me that like, daddy, I can be both. So I said, sounds like such a vibe. So which side brought you here? Just trying to gauge of like, is she just here for the playful banter or is she actually down to like meet up? And she said, would you believe me if I said both? I said, haha, sure. What are you looking for on here? Just to like really further solidify and understand her intentions of being on the dating app. And she said, I would say a relationship. That's apparently way too much to ask for. At this point, I want a friends with benefits. I confidently believe that if I had opened with a different opener, like something a little more platonic and less playful, she would have told me she's looking for a relationship because I would have been giving her nice guy vibes. This pickup line gives you bad boy vibes. You're teasing her, keeping it playful, and a smidge sexual from the very beginning of the conversation without overdoing sexual teases to the point where you're gonna get banned and reported on these dating apps. It's subtle, but it's not overkill. So I said, yeah, I hear you on that one. For me, nothing serious, but I'm also not into one night stands. Just looking for someone I vibe with and going with the flow. Perhaps go on cute summer dates with. And she said, yes, exactly. You're the first to really put things perfectly. So it sounds like we're completely on the same page here, both down to clap cheeks all summer long. Why don't you shoot me your Snap or phone number? And just like that, number secured. This line has also gotten me a ton of same day dates and hookups because it allows you to completely shatter the typical frame of dating app conversations and really get to the point. In this example, I got a same day date. I said, I can't tell if you're innocent or an absolute baddie. She said, I guess you're gonna have to find out. I said, damn, I love the confidence. But are you a good cuddler? This cuddler line is also pretty lethal because it's kind of a sexual innuendo, but it's also kind of wholesome. And depending on how she responds to this, you know whether you can keep escalating or kind of pull back and give off a little bit more of a wholesome vibe. And she said, I love cuddles. I said, you're cute. What are you looking for on here? Honestly, just a little sex. So she's very, very direct, obviously looking to just hook up on the app. So I escalated even further from there because I could tell she's very high interest and said, what are you doing later? And she says nothing if you're available. I said, sounds good. Want to shoot me your number? And just like that, number secured. In this next chat, I opened with the baddie line and she said, I'm a little sweetheart, I promise. I said, I have my doubts, but I guess we'll find out either way. And she said, over some tequila shots. She's referencing one of my prompts where I said, we'll get along if tequila is your love language. I said, sounds wholesome enough. You're hot. What are you looking for on here? You think I'm hot, I think you're hot. We're off to a good start. I'm really just looking for people who have similar interests and want to have some fun. No pressure, but if it leads to more, that's cool too. What about you? So it sounds like she's looking for more of a friends with benefits situation and she's open to a relationship. So kind of matched her energy and said, yeah, I feel that. Honestly, nothing super serious for now. Just keeping things chill and fun and going with the flow. Shoot me your number if you're down to have a drink sometime. And just like that, number secured. Now, sometimes you're gonna run into a bit of a shit test where women will flip this back on you and try to establish the buyer frame for themselves. So let's break that down in this example. I said, I can't tell if you're innocent or an absolute baddie. She said, it depends on the day. Winky face. You're a bad boy for sure though. So she kind of turns it on me. So I said, really? What makes you assume that? With a little devil emoji, kind of telling her like, yeah, I am a bit of a bad boy. And she said, just instincts or great minds think alike. So she's kind of insinuating that she's a bad girl as well. I said, I mean, I've been told my head is pretty good and hopefully you can say the same. So took a little bit of risk here, but I can tell based on her provocative profile photos, as well as the energy that she's giving me over text, that this would be appropriate in this situation. And she said, same here, don't worry. I said, I guess we'll see. You're cute. What are you looking for on here? I guess it depends on the person, but nothing crazy serious right now. How about you? I said, yeah, same. Someone chill who's down for good sex once in a while, to be honest. And she said, LOL, same. And I was like, sounds like we'll get along then. What's your number? And just like that, number secured. One caveat I will say is that women are going to respond to this line based on the energy that your profile gives. If your profile is full of nice guy photos and nice guy prompts, they're gonna say innocent a lot of the time and not really lean into that baddie kind of sexual tension type of conversation. But if your profile is optimized with photos that make you look like a bad boy, the types of photos that I take for my profile makeover clients, You're gonna find that women are a lot more playful and responsive to this opener. Like this girl, I said, hey, I can't tell if you're innocent or an absolute baddie. She said, I could be both. I said, good answer. But which side brought you to me? I don't know, but since you asked me, now I wanna say it's my baddie side. I said, good girl. You're cute. What are you looking for on here? Something fun? I don't know, but who knows what the future holds? How about you? So she's kind of saying she wants to hook up, but she's being a little bit reserved just in case, you know, I'm judgmental or something like that. So in this next message, I matched her energy and let her know, like, baby girl, it's okay to lean into that energy. I said, good fun, good chats, maybe good sex if we get along. She said, nice, with 3 E's. I said, you up for a drink tonight? I'm meeting with a friend in an hour and having dinner, but maybe we can meet afterwards. I said, yeah, sounds good. What's your number? I don't always check this. And just like that, number secured. Now this pickup line is absolutely lethal, and I do encourage you to try it for yourself. But the fact is, I just made a video on this line and it's probably about to get overused and expired. But don't worry, King. I've got so many more banger pickup lines just like this in my ultimate pickup line guide. In this guide, I'm gonna give you dozens of super effective pickup lines, as well as my overpowered opener framework. This framework is gonna show you exactly how you can take something in her profile and make a custom pickup line that is both playful and demands a response, so you can convert your matches into dates as quickly as possible. And you can get instant access to this ultimate pickup line guide absolutely free just by clicking the link at the top of the description of this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.